I have a grocery list of things I want to discuss with my next guest, so I just want to get right to our phone lines. Joining us live right now, we've got Senator Todd Young. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kayla. Let's start unpacking the groceries.
Yeah, right, shall we? Let's start with item list number one, inflation. I want to start there because I think it's one of the biggest issues for Hoosiers right now. As you know, Senator, inflation is at a 40-year high and just hurting Hoosier families and businesses. And let's face it, things just have been financially tough for the past couple of years. So, what are you doing specifically, maybe your colleagues doing specifically, to try and help ease some of this financial pain right now?
There's actually a lot we can do, Kayla. I mean, I'm feeling this pinch myself, but I know there are a lot of Hoosiers, a lot of Americans out there that absolutely are feeling it worse than my family. You go to the grocery store, just prepare for the Super Bowl, right? I mean, chicken wings, the cost of chicken wings are up. There's supply chain challenges to boot, so they're out of all kinds of things, and Hoosiers have had enough of it. So, listen, we have seen the cost of inflation. It's gone up 7.5% over the past year. So far exceeds where wages are generally. Some wages are higher, some are lower, depending on where you live and what your profession is. But this is pinching average Americans, and the Biden administration has not been focused on this. There's some easy things they could do. Number one is let's focus on deregulation. If you deregulate industries, if you cut out the red tape, people will produce more, and the prices go down. I mean, it's just basic supply and demand.
Right.
So the Trump administration did a great job with this, cutting all manner of major regulations. Congress worked in concert when we were in control, Republicans that is, but the Democrats have instead, they've doubled the price of child care. That was their proposal in Build Back Better. So they want to double the cost of things and then flood the zone with trillions of dollars in additional expenditure, which is the exact opposite of what you'd want to do. So deregulate. The other thing is, you look at our supply chain. If you drop off things at the port, you've got a choke point there or a bottleneck in our supply chain, which increases the cost of things as supply goes down. So let's make our ports operate 24/7. We're finding that there's also a bottleneck when truckers try and pick stuff up from ports and take them, to warehouses in places like the Midwest. Let's get more truckers on the road. I've passed legislation that allows 18 to 21-year-olds, if they've gone through hundreds of hours worth of training, to drive big rigs. You can do that within 49 out of 50 states right now, but you can't cross state lines, which is real silly.
Right.
So I think we should do that. We should allow, during this economic emergency of sorts, we should allow these large trucks to carry a little bit larger loads, adjust our regulations.
Makes sense to me.
Allow our truckers to stay on the road, say, an hour longer, hours of service regulations. So, I mean, these are just commonsensical things, and I've insisted that these changes be made. Thus far, I've gotten the 18 to 21-year-old driver regulation done, but the administration really needs to show more leadership on this front. The second thing, real quick, that they need to stop doing, and I alluded to it, stop spending trillions of dollars. That leads to inflation.
That's what I was waiting for you to say.
That's probably the most obvious thing, right?
Stop spending. That would be a miracle. Yeah, Senator, you know what's nice, though, is that at least with you, it sounds like there are some options, because I think a lot of us feel like there's nothing that can be done about this right now. So at least you're talking some common sense here for us. I do want to move to grocery list item number 2, because I know time is limited here. I want to talk about SCOTUS. We're waiting to see who the president nominates to the U.S. Supreme Court. And it said, have an announcement by the end of the month. He does have a short list. There's 2 to 3 names, depending on who you ask, on that short list. But what do you think so far about the names on that list?
So, listen, I'll study their backgrounds. I haven't in great detail so far. I'm not for litmus tests, race or gender litmus tests. I don't think that's the best way to go out about choosing a Supreme Court nominee. But the president campaigned on that, and I guess he intends to do that. Look, the president needs to select a nominee that has, the temperament, a strong sort of academic and legal background, but most importantly, they need to have an unwavering commitment to upholding our Constitution. That's what this really comes down to. I'm really skeptical as I dive into the record that I'm going to find that. I think he's going to want someone who legislates from the bench. But listen, I'll give him a fair shake, and we'll see who he presents.
I also just really quickly, Senator, wanted to touch on China, because during an interview recently on CNN, you said the U.S. can compete with China. What did you mean by that?
Oh, listen, I mean, we can out-innovate, outgrow economically, and outcompete the Chinese on every front, militarily, diplomatically, in terms of our technological innovation. But we have to up our game. I mean, they're really serious with it, with their techno-authoritarian model. They've got plans for everything. We need to be serious, too. We need to invest more in our national security and more smartly. Internally, we need to get things done. Yes, make strong arguments on behalf of our values and our principles and our view of the future. But also, when it comes time to come together and get stuff done, the American people want us to do that. They want serious people during this time. So, listen, that was just kind of a rally cry, indicating that the world has counted the United States of America down and out for well over 200 years now, and we've always proved the pessimists wrong. We'll continue to do so. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, I like the optimism this more, Senator. I appreciate you unpacking the groceries with us.
They need to hear it. Yeah, they need to hear it. I mean, there are a lot of negative and concerning things going on in the world, but we're the best damn country in the world with the strongest people and the smartest people. We just need to unleash their inner energy and talents, and that's what our country is all about.
Now, that's a soundbite if I've ever heard one. Senator, I appreciate your time this morning.
All right. See you, Kayla.